thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are in Western Northeast South Dakota, sunny Western Northeast South Dakota for episode 265 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, it feels like it's been forever since
we're
we've
just
done
right
that.
back at it.
We are just like right back in the saddle.
Firing
Sometimes
away.
These weeks just go by so fast, but
we're bringing the heat this week.
We are bringing the heat, and we not only were bringing the heat, you know what we came? Locked and loaded. You knew. You knew, and all our old listeners know that too. I do enjoy the Massenomics podcast, though. It's been a long week for me at work, and like the recording the podcast provides an opportunity for me to not think at all about like some other things I have to do.
The worries of life.
It's like those don't exist. We're in Massenomics podcast land. It feels like
everything's happy here.
We almost like it's at ground level you have to experience all these daily routine things that you don't always like. But when you hop into the Massenomics podcast, you get to almost exit that for a period of time. You rise above it. You rise up to like the 10,000 foot level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and you're just cruising, just sliding right along.
Right. That's right. We better not say too much before.
No, we should probably read these sponsors.
Today's episode is brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUD Inc. Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-ink-straps.com. And this episode is brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements, of course, Tommy. And perfect, just coincidentally.
Oh, could it be? Could it be?
We just got some new protein powder in for Fusion Sports Performance Supplements. I think this is a new flavor that they came out with. It's what's the name of the flavor? It's chocolate of some sort.
Yeah, it says right here, chocolate of some sort.
I knew it. This is a lucky guess. Chocolate of some sort. By Fusion
fudge.
Sports Performance. Exclusively at Fusion
probably
Sports
talking
Performance.
about a new flavor.
Vanilla of some sort.
Just the label would just be a bunch of pictures of different chocolate.
Banana kind of.
Sort of banana.
But no, they do have this flavor out. It's delicious.
Chocolate fudge.
It's tastes like chocolate of some sort. Chocolate fudge, and it is good and good for you. Maybe most importantly, we do have a discount code with them. Saves you a huge 20%. That discount code is MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps at fusionsp.net. Also, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you decided it wasn't your favorite flavor of chocolate of some sort, you could get your money back.
But
in theory,
I mean, it's
you're
going to
like it, so that's really irrelevant. I shouldn't even read that part of the ad. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar in Rapid City. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. makes premium made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates. These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime. The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Check out, including Larry. He loves them. Mm-hmm. Check out their plates and all their...
That man knows his way around the plate.
Yes. Check out their plates and all the other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. And today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper. Maybe you've heard of them. And they're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Thank you, sponsors.
All right. Tanner, there's something very newsworthy happening right at this moment. Do you know what it is?
No.
Have you heard of this viral sensation taking Western Central South Dakota by storm?
What is it?
The Chase the Ace game.
Oh, yes, I have heard of this. Yes.
So,
did somebody win?
No, they're drawing names right now.
Okay,
I have tickets in this.
Okay.
So I had never heard.
Yes.
I had never heard of a Chase the Ace game. I didn't know this was a thing. For people that don't know, it's basically like kind of like a split pot raffle. Where the winner is basically picked by, they draw the card, and if they get an ace and they draw your name with the ace, then you're the winner.
Not only is it the Chase the Ace race, it's the Faulkton Chase
and
the Ace race. Faulkton, South Dakota.
Faulkton, South Dakota, yes. But the pot has grown and grown and grown, and tonight they said a winner is getting drawn no matter what. I believe the pot is up to almost $2 million.
That's what I think. That's right. Yeah.
So I have text updates coming in, so I could be a millionaire.
You could be chasing the ace right now.
I'm attempting to chase the ace at the moment.
If you catch the ace, do you think we'll just quit the podcast?
Oh, can you imagine if I got the ace while we were recording, Tanner? Would that be an episode or what?
Yeah. Yes, that would be an episode. That would be pretty sweet.
Catch a cool $1 million while sitting here.
We'd get some new cool stuff for the podcast.
Oh man, we'd have like a freaking green screen studio. It'd be the real deal.
Yeah. So you haven't won yet, though.
I haven't won yet. I don't know.
Well, keep us updated.
Well, yeah.
If you do happen to win, let us know.
Yeah. I'll mention it at the end of the podcast if I do win $1 million. So.
All right. If I had $1 million.
Tanner, I'm really thirsty right now.
Oh, well.
Like more so than normal at this time.
And I came prepared with a What's in the Can segment.
Did I?
So, yeah. There's another one down there on the ground. And this is the game.
And I was very happy to see that someone did the Sandra Bullock meme of
people
have bird box with your head on in the boat.
Yeah, that was we're going good on that.
That made me very happy to see that. So is this a What's in the Can?
This is What's in the Can.
Okay.
I'll trade you. Unfortunately, this has been here for a little while now, so it's not quite as cold as when I first grabbed it.
Not quite as cool and crispy.
But we'll make that do.
My wife thought she was pulling a quick one on me the other day. She goes, I want you to guess what this flavor is.
And you're like, we do that for a living.
And right away I go, this is a bubbly. She goes, what? How do you know that? Because
the tab,
clearly. Okay.
Rookie.
Ooh. Okay.
That hits different, doesn't it?
That is a good way of putting that.
Different. I don't know. Is it different good or different bad?
I'm almost getting that. I don't think this is right, but it kind of reminds me of that kombucha we had the one time.
Yeah.
Where it was like, what flavor is this? I can't quite.
I see how you could say that. Because I also didn't know what this tasted like. So
it's something weird like that. Like, I don't think this is any fruit. Like, I think there's something else going on here.
This like legit hits like, different.
It's not.
I actually am having to read the can right now.
This can't be like.
I didn't really know that this is what this tasted like.
This can't be like a raspberry lime. Like, I don't think it can be any fruit flavor. Like, there has to be something else going on here. But what is that other thing? And I don't think it's alcohol. I don't think the other thing's alcohol.
But it's also like it could like.
But it could be.
Yeah,
it very well could be. I don't think it is though.
Oh, now I can't wait for you to.
It has like that, like it's aged. Like that's what that kombucha thing is. Is like it feels like it's fermented and old.
Yeah.
I can't pin down the flavor. Like I'm almost getting lemon a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. Should I look?
Yeah, you better look.
Raspberry lime? What? I said raspberry
You said it's
lemon?
not like it's raspberry lime. No, you said it's not like it's raspberry lime. You said, it's like a fruit flavor, but it's not like it's raspberry lime.
And it's raspberry lime.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is raspberry lime.
Does it feel like there's something else going on?
Well, so this is Spindrift, and I don't know if you remember, I've talked about Spindrift on here before.
Yeah.
Contains 6% juice.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, ingredients: carbonated water, raspberry puree, raspberry juice, lime juice.
Okay.
So this is
there's 9 calories in here. It's those 9 calories are what's throwing me off.
It definitely tastes significantly different than your typical sparkling water.
That has to be what it is.
But I love that you said it's not like it's raspberry lime.
Wow.
That is, I think that was your subconscious knowing that it was raspberry lime. Did you, when you said raspberry lime, why did you pick that?
I was
when
just
you said that?
thinking like, well, because I'm like, it can't be strawberry.
Yeah.
But I'm like, raspberry. I think maybe my brain was like, maybe it could be raspberry, but it's also not raspberry.
Yeah, right.
And I was going to say raspberry strawberry because that flavor makes no sense. You know,
Right.
if you don't know, you just put lemon or lime in
Right,
it, and
right,
then it's
right,
something.
Right.
I could have just as well said cucumber too, but for some reason I said,
For some reason, you said the flavor.
wow, that is insane.
Spindrift does hit different though, but does
that
it hit
really-
different? The question is, does it hit different in a good way?
I don't know if it does. It's not as crisp. That is for sure. Right? It's the juice is pulling it down, pulling that profile.
And I
down.
like fruit juice, but I don't know that I like this. I mean, I'm gonna be. I'll drink this whole thing. Like I'm kind of thirsty right now, and I'll finish it. Like this, kombucha is offensively bad to me. Like
this is in that territory though.
Yeah, it's not as. But when you were saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, that all I can picture all of what you're saying right there.
Raspberry puree, raspberry juice, lime juice. Okay, wow. I would maybe give this a 3, maybe.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 to 3.
Yeah.
It's not a 3.5, 4.
Oh no, it's definitely not a 3.5.
It's a sub 3.5, and that is kind of the gold standard mark, the watermark. So
it is. Wow, raspberry lime spindrift.
Yeah. So I did get saw a lot of good feedback that people enjoyed the 10,000 foot segment from last week.
So we can renew it for another season.
Yeah, yes. And what's the official name of that segment?
I think it's 10,000 foot view.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people commented that they liked the 10,000 foot view segment.
Maybe we'll sneak one in again one of these days.
Yeah. That was a note that I had. What else? I thought I had a couple other. There's a couple other things we got to do. We've got a pretty legit sack segment that I'm excited to get here today too.
I got my eyes on your sack there, Tanner.
Yeah,
that thing is.
It's a juicy sack today. We do have a cool guest for this week's episode. I can't wait to see what he has to say.
I'm very excited for this.
I'm very excited for that one.
Going to be a very fun guest.
Yeah. Okay, so where should we go next then? Do we want to do the sack segment yet? I made the note also of the Kern U.S. Open.
Oh, yeah.
Notes on it. I don't know. Did you have any particular notes on that?
I didn't take any notes.
Yeah.
I have some
your
very
notebook's not here.
Yeah. I left my notebook at home. I have some very minor mental notes on it. I don't know if we want to talk about it now or not.
Sure. What did you?
My first one was. I just feel like maybe I'm just like starting to be more and more out of the loop because I don't see any promotion on these things besides the actual people who are in them mentioning a few things.
That's mostly what I saw. I feel like
too. I don't know. Maybe
I see like King of the Lifts.
Maybe I'm just following different things, but I feel like back in the day, like 3 or 4 years ago, it seemed like there's a lot more hype around these things.
Hoopla.
Yeah, and now I just like, hey, yep. I'm 3 weeks out from this, or it's this weekend. I see someone have.
Yep.
So I don't know. It feels like there's less hype in the front end of these things.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just turning more routine,
right.
and maybe it's just me.
Right.
It's not them, it's me. Maybe that's what it is. But that's one of the first things that jumps out at me. Otherwise, I didn't get to like watch it in person. I caught a lot of the highlights on Instagram, like I think most people probably did.
Yeah, I didn't watch any live streaming or
Dan
anything.
Bell squatted a lot.
Yeah, he squatted a lot. He benched a lot. I think both PRs for himself.
Pretty much deadlifted a lot too, but
yeah, he didn't re-break his all-time world record, but it was still. Well, I suppose it's still the second biggest all-time total,
probably
behind just himself.
I believe. Actually, I think Tanner.
I think Chad Penson finished in the podium also. And then who was the third male? Why am I drawing a blank? Also, I haven't really gotten a chance to look too closely at it yet. But
here, they have it up.
Okay.
That Mariana won it for women.
Right.
And then Hunter Henderson got second for women. I don't think anyone really needs to hear us go through maybe weights because this is the wrong place to hear that. But yeah. Chad Penson got first for guys, it looks like, with because they went by Wilks on this, I believe, right? He had a 640. He had a 642 Wilks. Dan Bell had a 632 Wilks.
Okay.
John Hack had a 619.
Okay. So not bad on all their parts.
Yeah, those are some.
Did Dan get mad about something on the deadlift though, or hadn't actually seen the video of the deadlift?
I don't know. I think he just probably wanted the down call quicker.
Okay.
Probably.
I tried to find it. Where did you see the video of the deadlift?
Let's see.
Because I looked when I had checked on his page, I hadn't seen the deadlift video. It's probably out. It's out there somewhere. But so he maybe got a slow down call or something.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw the video at either. I saw it somewhere on the internet, I believe.
Yeah. Well, someday we'll just call Dan again. He can give us the first-hand account.
Go straight to the source.
Right.
Yeah, I have no idea where I saw that now.
So the Kern's done now, and then I would think
Kern?
The Kern.
The Kern.
The Kern Palace. So next people would be setting their sights on the Showdown meet in September.
Probably.
Next big one, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless something pops up between now and then.
Between now and then, World's Strongest Man comes up between then and a few other things. But so that was the Kern. That was the Kern from our. That was a very 10,000 foot view of the Kern. Actually,
that was maybe a 30,000 foot view on that one. Like going very fast in a jet.
And they're like, "Oh, there's the Kern, see Kern." And there it was.
It happened,
if you look to your left, you'll
and
see the Kern. Oh,
Yep.
and it's gone.
Yep. But this is releasing the podcast for that, though.
That's true. That's true. What
we
is
have
this,
Massenomics things to
what
talk
is this
about.
the podcast for? We do have big Massenomics things coming, as we like to typically say. We've got a new drop coming this week.
Yeah. Just this will release on Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. Thursday.
Typically Thursday is the drop day.
Yep.
Barring any major catastrophes.
I think I don't. It's just as long as our website doesn't want to crash
or Instagram doesn't
crash,
decide
that
to
should
not be live
that day.
day.
So be on the lookout Thursday. There's at least 3 shirts dropping, and who knows what else. I won't even allude to what else could be there, but there could be other things there.
And it's a good drop. This is a good drop.
It's very good.
We say that
drop.
about every drop, and we also say this about every drop too. But this is a good drop.
This is a good drop. This is a really good drop. I'm excited for it.
I think there's going to be some very happy people.
Yes, there is going to be some
world.
very happy people. So don't sleep on this drop. This is one of those kind of drops. If you sleep on it, you could miss out on things.
And when we say sleep on it,
don't actually go to bed.
Judging by history, within 30 minutes, some things could be gone forever.
Yes. So that's the drop.
Be on the
up.
lookout.
Yeah, that's the drop. You know what? A couple other people mentioned. I saw it in order notes this week. Is someone said they really want the agronomics. Is agronomics a play on Massenomics?
I would assume.
Okay, that's where they get it from. It's a play on words. What did Jim McD said that? Say
portmanteau.
That? Portmanteau, isn't
portmanteau, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a portmanteau.
Tomato, Tanner.
It's a portmanteau. So agronomy update. Spring started off relatively cool. People typically don't want to be out planting when ground temperatures are still too low.
Right.
But we are kind of, turning the corner on that right now. We're turning the corner on that.
Today was a beautiful day.
Yeah, today was a beautiful day. Average temperatures over the next few weeks look pretty good. What I'm getting to is planters are starting to roll out into the field like right now. People are getting out there and planting. People have been spreading fertilizer, but planters are getting out there to start planting corn right now, especially people that farm large enough number of acres that they have to start early because they have to cover a certain number of acres.
Because it takes time.
Right, it takes time. So they have to get started so that they can get done. And I haven't been out and about the last couple days to see it myself, but I believe what I've heard is planters are
the word is
out in the field. They're out in the field.
That's when everyone starts to get really antsy, don't they?
That is the thing. When your neighbor, when you're in the shop in the farmyard and your neighbor drives by with the planter hooked onto your planter, you start going, oh, wait a second. Why aren't we planting?
For people that don't farm, it's like it's Saturday and your buddy, you see him on Instagram going to the gym and you're like, well, why am I
not
right
going
now?
to the gym? All of a sudden I really want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Wow.
And that's our agronomy
Okay,
update.
so tell me, how does this relate to GameStop and Bitcoin then?
Yes.
That does.
Yes. Yes.
Have you seen this other thing that's kind of mind-blowing right now? And I can't remember. Did you tell me when you were talking about podcasts one day? I always get these two mixed up, so I have to clarify. Did you tell me that you listen to The Daily?
No, I listen to...
the other one is Up First.
Yeah. Up First.
Okay.
Is The Daily good? I don't really know about The Daily.
Is
it better than Up First?
I think they're probably both like.
I'm not in love with Up First. I just like it because it is just a couple. I skip through stuff that I don't care about even, like, but it just gives me an idea. Like, those are some things going on in the world.
Yeah, the daily focus is usually a little more on one subject for like 20 minutes. It's from the New York Times. It's usually about 20 minutes on one subject. But they had an episode about this just recently, and I'd read about it a few times. It's kind of an interesting thing, and it seems like, how is this actually real? Have you heard about NFTs at all yet?
Yeah, not
fungible.
Okay. That's
tokens.
what non-fungible. Okay.
Have you heard about these?
I've heard that terminology. I don't really know.
I'll try to explain it, and I'm probably going to butcher this, and there's someone that probably listening gets it better than me. But it's basically like, you can basically buy like the code or the serial number that says this is the original one. So like people, like you can literally do it with memes. Like you could say, this is
right.
Like everyone has the meme, but this is the original meme. And here there's a
doesn't
code.
It actually? Yeah, and it is when you buy it, like it is a picture of the meme or something too, right? Like that goes along.
Yeah, basically.
With it.
So it works kind of in the same way Bitcoin does, where the blockchain is like this. You know, the blockchain is basically like this. I mean, I'm really dumbing this down, but like this spreadsheet that keeps track of everything.
Yep.
And so like you can buy the NFT for something. And so like, let's say we sold the NFT for the Lift Shirt logo.
Right.
You know, everyone can go online and see the Lift Shirt logo.
Right.
But you would have like kind of like sort of the serial number certificate that says this is the original one.
Right.
And then people are like spending huge amounts of money for this
stuff. I have
so,
seen that in it's been on my peripheral.
So like as an example, they said like Jack Dorsey, you know, the founder of Twitter, he sold a screenshot of his first ever tweet, and it sold for $2 million. This New York Times writer, when they talked about this episode, he wrote an article and he said, you know what, I thought as a cool thing, okay, yep, I'll write the article and then I'll take a screenshot of it, or I can't remember if he said he took a screenshot or a picture or whatever, but then he's like, and then I'll sell the NFT for my article. And he said, and I think you bid on it with Ethereum, I think is what you have to use.
Okay.
That other blockchain or cryptocurrency. And he said he was hoping, I think, to get like one
of those.
Whatever their coin is called, which was like $800. And he's like, oh, that would be amazing to get that. And it kept going and going and going. And all of a sudden, like this bidding war broke out. And I think he said, did it end up going for, was it like $300,000 or something? And so there's like kind of like this mad dash of people that are doing it. And
so how do we make money from it?
So it's crazy because they're talking about
how does it relate to Lift Shorts?
Exactly. So I don't know. There's something there, Tanner. We'll get rich with it eventually, but it's like this whole, and in my mind, I'm like, this seems really, really dumb. But the way they did kind of equate it is, you know, think about fine art, like the Mona Lisa. You can go online and look at that anytime you want. You could buy posters of it, probably, hang it up in your house. But somebody has the original.
The Louvre, isn't it?
I think so. And that original is kind of priceless, you know. And that's kind of the same thing here. I mean, not completely, because you never really have a physical thing, but it's taken off.
Huh. Have you seen the Netflix documentary about the art heist?
No, I have it on my list though. I do want to see that.
And I went there. It's in Boston, and I went there like 2 years ago. I went to that museum. It's named after the woman that kind of started it. It was almost like her house or something.
This is a robbery? Is that what the show's called?
Yes.
I just saw that.
I only bring it up because you just mentioned the
fine art.
And I did go there, and it is a cool. I'm not necessarily an art guy, but it's also pretty cool. And like people will watch the show and you'll see more about the heist, but the keystone piece of what they stole is a Rembrandt.
Oh yeah.
And like in the museum, you go into that room of the museum and they leave
that room.
No, they leave the frame up. It's an empty frame.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this was like 30 years ago, and they leave. It's just the empty frame because the people actually cut
it out.
The Rembrandt. It was like the only seascape that Rembrandt ever did.
Oh.
But I only bring it up because you just said the painting, and I've been there before, so that's the one cool tie into that.
Cool.
And I even when I went there, I didn't know much about the story, but when we went there, and I was like, oh, they leave the frame up of the Rembrandt, and that's really cool. Also, what the hell are these people doing with these stolen paintings?
That's what
that you
is
can't
so
do
insane.
anything
That there's clearly a black market for this stuff, though.
Yeah,
rich people know.
I actually haven't even finished the documentary. I think they talk about that. I just have only watched like an episode or two.
Yeah, I gotta. I finally, as of last night, I finally finished The Wire, Tanner. I'm 60 episodes or whatever it is, so I can really open up my time for other stuff now.
I've never watched The Wire. I really actually don't know what
I've talked about it on and off on this episode on this show for so long. I'm finally done. It's probably the best TV show I've ever watched.
When you say The Wire, or when anyone says The Wire, like if someone said Game of Thrones, if you didn't know what Game of Thrones is, you might still have an idea in your head.
Yeah.
When you say The Wire, I don't even know what that means. Like right now in my head, I'm just picturing a big wire.
It's the name comes from a wiretap, like by the police.
Yeah,
so that's where it is. But yeah, it's a really good show.
Yeah.
Definitely a show. It can't be in the background. Like you gotta be
Is
full
it better
attention.
than The Sopranos?
It's different because The Sopranos is really about Tony
Is it better
Soprano.
than Breaking Bad?
See, to me, as far as you have you watched both of those?
Yeah.
Okay, like all of both of them.
I haven't finished Sopranos.
Okay,
Yeah.
so The Sopranos is clearly it's Tony Soprano's show. It's a
Right.
character. You're in Tony Soprano's
Walter
character,
White, yeah.
and same thing with Breaking Bad. You're in Walter White's world, and then there's a few other characters that you spend a decent amount of time with.
Jesse,
but there's no doubt who the main person is, and then one or two other people.
Yeah.
I would say where The Wire is more of a show about the world they're living in, kind of almost like Game of Thrones. Like the Game of Thrones isn't really about one character. It's sort of like, hey,
about
this
100
is the world,
characters,
and when this character dies, it doesn't matter because the world keeps moving.
Right.
And The Wire is very much like that, but instead of being set in a fantasy world, it's set in basically
A wire.
It's
all within a wire.
It's set in the war on drugs in Baltimore in the early 2000s. So you see the systemic failings of the war on drugs and school systems, political systems, police systems, government systems. Like you see how all these things, there's people in them doing the right things, but at a systemic level, a lot of these things are just failing and no one can change them. So it gives you this feeling of hopelessness, but also at the same time, like, wow, this is pretty crazy stuff right now.
Yeah.
And there's some good characters in there too, but it is more of I would say more looking at a bigger institutional thing versus a character thing.
Okay.
So something to think about there, Tanner.
I still kind of liked it better when someone said The Wire, and I just was like, I don't know what that means.
Had
I have
just a
no frame of reference
totally different
whatsoever.
picture of what that is. Yeah.
What about our sack segment? We've got an impressive sack to get to today. Actually, I don't even know. I myself don't even know what's in my sack today.
Yeah.
Also, it's a box.
Yeah, I'm eyeballing this thing, and I'm really excited for it.
I'm gonna get it positioned here a little better here.
Yeah.
So this is a box that was sent to us by our friend Frank at none other than Lift Evil. And I opened the box when it came in the mail a few days ago. And this is all the farther I got to what you're seeing right now, Tommy. So you and I are experiencing
this box. There's a black bag on top with the writings "Open on Podcast."
I'm actually going to, because Instagram is so important, as we all know, I'm going to put
it's
this in my
practically the
story
only
right
thing
now.
that matters for anything, Tanner.
That's what I always have said. Much more important than the real world. So I'm going to tag Frank in that. So if you saw this on our Instagram story, you kind of lived this with us at that same point in time.
Yeah, and I would like to report that I still have not won $1 million yet. So
Okay.
I'm thinking,
Well, still let us know if you do.
yeah, the window may have passed, but who knows?
And it looks like the guy, what's he got in his hand? You know what that looks like? That looks like a Pac-Man ghost with horns.
It does, and a beard.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to open it up.
Open it up! Open it up!
Oh, no.
Oh, another message.
Open little black bag first, so not this.
I don't think so, because that's pointed. There's an arrow pointed to the side. I think we got to follow the arrow.
Okay, so we get this.
It's like a treasure hunt.
This
in a box.
is like a treasure hunt in the box.
Damn,
So
Frank's paper is.
yeah, Frank's got all this cool shit that we don't have.
Yeah,
What the
Frank
hell?
has some bomb ass tape and some really cool paper.
We
need
don't
both
have
of
this.
these things. Yeah.
Frank, get at us.
Yeah. Wow.
Tell us how much this paper cost and how much that tape costs, Frank, because we need Massenomics paper and tape. Okay.
Little black
So he
bag.
said-
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, it's solid.
It's a hefty boy.
Yeah, it's rectangular. Open first. This is like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? This is legitimately like a treasure hunt. I'm so excited. I feel like the Morgan Freeman
What's
Shawshank.
in the box?
The Shawshank Redemption.
I thought maybe 7 you were thinking.
Yeah, there we go.
What's in the box?
Yeah, right. That's probably a better Morgan Freeman reference.
Right? Is he in 7? Am I just
Brad
thinking
Pitt
that?
is, right?
Brad Pitt is, and who else? Kevin Spacey. Who is he with, though, in that movie? Who's Brad Pitt with?
What
I can't remember.
is this? I have to take another snap of this.
So we have a pink little. Is this a little speaker, Tanner?
Is this a yak back? Did you ever have a yak back?
Yeah, it's like a little speaker, and there's a big piece of tape over the speaker, and it says "Pay me."
Play me.
Play me. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Pay me. Play me. I'm holding it up on the screen so people can see what we got here. But yeah, it's like the thing that Macaulay Culkin had in Home Alone.
Well, that wasn't called a yak back though. That was called a talk boy. Talk boy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, talk boy.
Okay. So it says "Play me." Do you want me to play it, Tanner?
Yeah, hit play, I guess.
Should we plug the headphone into it?
Do you think that works like that? Or?
Oh, there's a headphone jack right there. I don't know why it wouldn't work.
All right.
Let's give it a try.
That thing just looks old.
It looks old, but God.
I hope that works.
There. I should just hit the play button then, right?
Massenomics, oh yeah, a Massenomics podcast. Some say it's the podcast about nothing. Some say it's the podcast about how to get strong, how to stay strong, and how to use your strength. The Massenomics podcast, where it comes from western, northeast, South Dakota, brother, the cream of the crop of who the fuck actually knows where that is. I don't even know where it is, but I don't care, because it's got 2 really good guys on it. It's got Tommy and Tanner, the host of the Massenomics podcast. That's right there, brother. And this time, it's a What's in the Box segment on the Massenomics podcast. But hold on. We got a new sponsor only for this segment, only for this one box, only for this one time. And that sponsor is Lift Evil, the company that's run by the troll. Some say it's the Troll King himself. Now don't worry, guys. This box is all full of goodies, but beware, it's also full of surprises. Like your last podcast, it was full of surprises. Well, brother, you own no surprises until you get a box from the Troll King. Whoa, holy shit. Sorry, guys, kind of blacked out there. I don't know, man. I kind of ended up going into like a whole Macho Man voice and everything.
It was a
what
good
the
Macho
fuck
Man.
was that about? Shit. Well, anyway. What's up, Tommy? What's up, Tanner?
Hey, Frank.
Of the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah, we can hear you,
That's
Frank.
right. It's me. It's Frank. It's that sexy Troll King. You guys got a fucking cool-ass box in front of you. Don't open it yet. Rather, there's directions. You can only open up this guy first. I bet you guys had no idea that there was going to be a freaking tape player and it's pink. Of all things, it's a pink tape player. It's so cute and retro. Anyway, if you guys are still playing this, probably laughing, going, oh, ha, ha, that guy, he got us. Well, it's not over yet. This is just the beginning. I'm a very short segment. Don't worry, guys. I'm not here to ruin your podcast. I'm just here to do the one thing I don't think anybody has ever done.
Oh, God.
Nor one company to another,
Buy 2 pairs
or
of
one
initials?
podcast to another. Is do a live hijacking of your podcast.
Hijacking our podcast.
That's right.
That's what I was just thinking.
Frank from Lift Evil, which you can find us at liftevil.com, at Lift Evil, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know, all the good stuff. And also the host of the Lift Evil's Troll Time, also on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Google, out weekly, just like you guys. Anyway, that's right. I'm hijacking you guys. I am hijacking the Massenomics podcast. And don't worry, guys. It is going to be sweet. And at the end, we're going to have what you call the proof in the pudding. Actually, I don't even know why I just said that. I'm just really hungry and I kind of want pudding. Anyway, let's get to it, guys. Now you're going to find 3 boxes inside of this box. You're also going to find the golden box. Let's call that the golden goose, the golden snitch, whatever you want. You're going to save that one for last. And you're going to enjoy the other 2 boxes first. Okay, guys? There's names on those boxes. There's a Tommy and there's a Tanner box.
Oh, label boxes.
Enjoy those. Have fun. But also realize inside of these boxes is a surprise segment. Also sponsored by Lift Evil, which you can find at www.lifteevil.com, Instagram at Lift Evil, or if you want to get the Troll King himself, Cuban Troll lives at Instagram. Anyway, you enjoy these 2 little boxes first, and the other surprise hijack segment. And then you get back to me before we open up that golden goose. So now you're back.
Oh, wait.
You've
Should we
enjoyed
pause it
some
now?
goodies. You've enjoyed a little sippy.
Pause, but there, pause. Okay.
Okay. So
You know,
should we
these old analog
Yeah.
buttons, Tanner. I don't know how to work
I know.
anything without a touch screen on it. Okay, so we got to look at this stuff.
So
now.
open the first 2 boxes and leave the golden box.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Wow, this is insane.
This is. I was
But
not
Frank is
expecting any of
insane,
this.
So, wow.
Ooh.
Open them. So one of these black ones is going to be for you.
This says Tommy right here.
Yep.
Ooh, Doom Vault, baby.
And this one's got my name on it.
Oh, the box itself is just
that's
top
super
notch.
cool.
I should hold this up so
wait.
people can see.
And
So-
I should talk into my
Yeah, so we got
microphones.
the Lift
Those
Evil
feel-
Doom Vault
yeah.
boxes. With
Did
the,
he
with the
screen
amazing
print on this?
printing. Yeah, I don't know if these are screen printed or how he actually does this, but it's really cool. Yeah, it looks so awesome.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
baby.
Damn.
So oh man, it just keeps getting better.
Oh.
So right off the bat, we got the Lift Evil T right in there.
Oh, snap.
Wow, okay.
Oh.
So we got the 3D printed Massenomics logo. Mine has my name. Flip it over to the backside. We got the cool beans on the backside.
That is cool.
Yeah, 3D printing. Super awesome. All right. We got the amazing troll head.
Yeah.
In like this
No
bronzy,
lift.
in this bronzy cast color thing.
Yeah, so this is like a statue cast then, I think, is what
Yeah,
this-
I don't know how he does these.
I think this is cast from a mold. It would have to be.
I have no idea how
So
he does
that's
that.
pretty
though.
wild. That's really cool, though.
That is really cool, yeah. Okay. So, I also,
What does yours have on the bottom of it? Yes.
so I also have a 3D printed chair, which is
Yeah.
exactly the chair I'm sitting in here.
With the cock and balls on the,
bottom.
3D printed
we have
onto
the 3D printed cock
So
and balls.
are
on
these
the bottom
our
of the chair.
chairs, do you
I
think?
mean, it certainly looks like it, doesn't it, Tanner?
It does look like the chairs we're sitting in.
like it's the same thing.
And who knew? Well, I'm going to have to look when we get done and see if our chairs have a cock and
Yeah,
balls underneath.
maybe he's trying to tell us something that we didn't know this whole time.
Yeah, this
Okay.
thing is really heavy. The no lift troll.
It's a hefty boy. Okay.
Did you show that shirt?
Yeah, so
there
we have
too?
the green Lift Evil and this
Oh, it's
really
even my
awesome,
size.
really awesome Lift Evil Strongman shirt where you got the the guy lifting the bull head here, the Minotaur head, and yeah, I love this shirt. I've seen this one for a while that Frank's had. I love this one. It's awesome.
Is this
Oh,
one?
you
is
have the
this
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, yeah. Yep.
Tanner's got the Cthulhu. Oh,
Yep.
snap! There's lots of shirts in here.
Then
Holy.
this is kind of the black
Okay.
on black.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so I got the Cthulhu here too.
Monotone.
Which is, I believe, in my opinion, one of Frank's most iconic designs. That one.
And I don't have that one, so I'm excited for that. I kind of like the green one though. Like I just like that's just
with the just straight up OG
and I
Lift
like
Evil on there.
sometimes stuff that's just different than what we have too.
Yep. Yep.
I like these because I'm going to use these. I've got a meet
Yes,
coming up, and I'm going to legitimately use
I'm
these.
really excited for these. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got the Lift Evil wrist wraps.
Yeah.
Here. And boy, I've been using the same. I've only had one pair of wrist wraps my whole life, and now I have two.
Yeah, these
And-
are cool.
Yeah, the Lift Evil wrist wraps are money, baby.
And on Frank's podcast, he always does this into the microphone. I know. Like, oh yeah,
That's how you know it's good.
satisfying
Got that
sound.
good snap. Oh man, these wraps are so nice.
Yep.
Does he use Pioneer for these? I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to be so much sturdier for the rest of this podcast episode
I'm just
too.
stiff, Tanner.
This sack is making me stiff.
Oh, I gotta get wrapped up for this thing. Damn, son.
And then I've got a couple more shirts in here too.
Are those flags?
This one's a shirt.
Shirts? Okay. I didn't know. It was in a package. Okay, so I got another T-shirt. I gotta show the goods
Golden
to Frank
rules.
here. I can't not show this sucker off.
Yeah.
What do we got here, Frank? We got another shirt with Lift Evo on the front. Oh. Handmade in hell on the back.
Ah, yes. I like that. Do you have this one too?
And
Oh, you had a different one than me though in the beginning, or maybe you had this one too. Oh, so we have different flags though. Let's see who got the better flag.
Ooh, mine's
That's the real
more
test.
colorful. I can tell you that, Tanner. I can tell you either way. They're both
So
going to
which
be
one
hanging in
pops?
Massenomics
Yeah,
gym.
right. Yes.
I think mine probably pops a little
Yours
more.
really
to be honest.
pops. It's got the yellow and pink on it.
It's so big, I can't even see it.
That's what she said. That's hard to represent on the.
So yeah, I got
the
mine is
camera.
I got yellow. Yeah, it's
Mine's the black and red Lift Evo
yep,
flag.
and I got the yellow pink skull. I can't even tell what direction I got to go in here.
And the last thing that we haven't talked about,
And of course,
surprise can segment. Fuck yeah. Is that what
that's a
yours says?
smoke trend. All right, well that means I got to finish up the first surprise can.
Right. I'm worried that our palates aren't cleansed. But
Oof. I need something to cleanse my palate after that spin drift.
So are
Ooh,
we
baby.
doing the can?
So,
and
yeah.
it's duct taped around it, so we have no idea what it is. It could be just about anything.
It's
couldn't
all
it?
black. Preferably, there's not a lot of caffeine in this.
It's from New Jersey, so it could be anything.
We're going for it. I don't even know if I got a smell here. I think it's just water.
Is it
Maybe?
liquid death? Is that what it's called?
It could be.
I could see Frank liking that.
I
they
could
have
see
good.
that
They have
too.
some good art and stuff
Yeah.
too.
I got to find out what this is.
Because it's just water, right?
It's got to be just water.
So it's
either that or when it
my
was
guess
imported
is it
into
called
South.
liquid death?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Either that or when it was imported into South Dakota, all the flavor disappeared crossing state lines.
Well, the border police stole the flavor.
And it is in fact liquid death.
Aha!
I've never had one. I've seen these
I
guys.
I don't think I've ever had it before either.
Yeah.
Frank tried to pull a fast one, and he's gotta think a little bit when you're sending the boys from South Dakota something.
Oh.
We've played What's in the Can a time or two. I've actually never had this before either. So liquid
neither.
death is just straight up water in a
Yeah.
can, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Murder your thirst, I believe, is their tagline.
It's kind of weird drinking something out of a can that's just water.
And
I
it's-
almost can't get
And
past
it's a tall one too.
I almost can't make myself fully
Like,
even though
'cause
my
this
taste
isn't
buds are
carbonated even.
No.
Like it's just straight up flat
But do
water.
you almost get the feeling that it does taste
yeah,
like
like
something?
in my mind
Because-
until
yeah.
you actually said that, I was still thinking I was drinking
right.
carbonated water.
But this is just like Aquafina in a can.
which is so weird. It just I've never drank straight water out of a can. Like
Yeah.
your brain doesn't think that's what it is.
They
But
do have some good art and stuff though too.
Yeah.
So not surprised that Frank would like them.
yeah,
It tastes good.
it is
What do you
crisp
give
and
it?
refreshing.
How many JD Power and
I mean,
Associates?
probably
awards?
4.
Yeah.
right.
It's a good water.
I mean, I would pick this
you know,
over the
it's
spin
cool.
drift, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's really, the tape is hard to get off, but yeah. Wow. Man, Frank, okay. Hooking it up.
Hopefully you didn't lace this with anything. What's your favorite thing out of the?
Oh man. Well, I'm
really
really
hard
pumped
to-
for the wraps.
I am
I
like
was
from a functional
literally thinking the other day how I probably should just buy some new. I've
Yeah.
had the same strong wraps for
Yeah.
like 5 years.
Point.
Just thinking how I should buy new
and
ones.
I like the black and red. You know
Yes.
that fits with me.
I'm super hyped on these.
This is pretty gangster though. This heavy. This is like cast out of whatever.
The
this
troll
is.
head's super cool.
Yeah.
The Cool Beans 3D
Yeah.
printed. Like this stuff is all so
Yeah.
cool.
This
I
is
mean,
so custom.
Plus,
that, like,
plus this T-shirt. I got a lot of T-shirts now. I mean, I had a lot of t-shirts already, but
Yeah.
I got a lot more t-shirts now.
And
A lot of Lift Evil t-shirts.
This has our names on it.
And let's not forget
Does
this.
Frank have a 3D printer?
I think so, right? He has to, doesn't he?
That son of a bitch.
I mean, I can't imagine he's paying someone.
He's
to
got all
do
kinds
these
of cool
designs,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, can you do like a chair that looks like this, but with the cock and balls on the bottom
You
of
need
it?
a penis on the bottom of this chair. Oh, that's so cool.
I'm tempted to take this to
At work.
and
just
people be like, "What is that?" And then they grab it and be like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Sexual? I've been harassed. HR. There's an harasser.
I might put this at work
Yeah,
at
that's
my
really cool.
desk, and everyone will be like, "What is that thing?" I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's nothing. You don't worry about that." So, do we need to get back to the?
So I think we go for the gold box now.
But do we listen to the? We're supposed to listen first because
Were we? Is that what he
yeah,
said?
I think we listen. We opened the two. I think if we just listen to a couple seconds, we'll be able to know.
Death is like, it's actually a pretty nice taste. If it was colder, it'd be nice and crispier, but I mean,
Yeah, I should hear this. I should just plug it in.
Oh yeah, where did I throw that around or something? Things got pretty wild with all this box.
Yeah. Here
Sack in the box and the.
Here we go.
you know, we're dealing with a boxer, guys. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys open up that golden goose. It is epic. It is something that has never been done before. And if you're going to hijack somebody, or if you're going to Ocean's 11 somebody, or Ocean's 8, sorry, I'm outside right now. If you're going to Ocean's hijack somebody, you can't just take everything. You got to go for the top of the pyramid. You got to go for that golden cap. You
What
got
the
to go
hell
for the
is in
most
here?
prized possession, guys. And I think you know what the fuck I'm
Lift
talking
shorts?
about. I can't wait for you to open up this
Is it
box
lift
and
shorts
see what
for
it is. And I'll just say, if you want to keep it, keep it. If you want to give it away, you give it away. If you even want to fucking put on a raffle and do some kind of charity thing, we'll do that too. I don't
Charity? Who
care.
does he think we
I
are?
just had to do it. And I'll leave you guys with this. You guys fucking rock. You're the best fucking podcast about nothing and strength and all that good old shit. And good old Jersey style. Suck my dick from the back. I love you guys. Bye.
Oh, what's in the box, Tanner?
Oh, are we gonna find out?
Maybe we should just save it for next week.
To be continued.
We're running out of time. We'll just do it next week.
Okay, no, I literally. We have not opened this box.
Yeah, what's in it? What's in it? What's in it? Okay, we have a gold Sharpie.
Okay, it's a gold
So we
Sharpie
have
on top.
more papers with a gold Sharpie taped to the papers.
First of all, this is before we even get to this. Like, what Frank has done here is
This
pretty
is insane. Yeah. So anyone listening,
Yeah.
if you haven't bought anything from Frank, you should go to lifteevil.com right now and buy something.
Yes.
'Cause, I mean,
Like-
first of all, Frank is the best, so you should be following on everything anyways. But yeah, you should be buying stuff from him.
Yeah. Like the lengths he went to here. This is
insane.
no like this is was a project.
Yes.
Okay.
So Tanner's opening up
what
Tanner's
is
opening up the
this?
paper.
First of all, there's some really cool metallic Lift Evil stickers in
I
there.
like those stickers.
Those are pretty
Oh yeah,
gangster.
those are really nice stickers.
There is a certificate in here, a giant certificate. I almost don't want to like handle this with my fingers because this is like
So what's the certificate say, Tanner?
it says certificate of authenticity. This document is to hereby certify, approve, and acknowledge the dopeness and realness of these most especially rare and pretty much priceless shorts, lift shorts. This document also attests to the first ever collaboration of two great companies to produce one of the most highly overpriced items, a one pair of 2XL Lift Evil lift shorts. Lift shorts.
Oh, okay. And
So
has
he
his
signed
name
by
signed.
Frank, and he sent the pen, so us two can
so
sign
we can
it.
sign the certificate
Okay,
too.
now I got this is an enormous certificate.
Yeah, that's not even medium size.
And
That's
no, this is a lot. Like this is as big as the $500 check we gave away. So there's that. That's really cool. We're gonna have to sign that. And I'm like, I don't even know how he makes the stuff that he does. He does so many cool things. Like, I don't really know how he does it. So we got to see the actual shorts here now.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do with these?
That's a really good question.
Oh, I know what he did. He bought a pair of our shorts and then he
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that is really cool.
Yep. So
Yes.
we have the Lift Evil lift shorts.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he bought the 2XL pair to throw me off the scent of like, oh, why would Frank be?
Yep.
You know,
So
it's like,
so we can show that on camera. So
Yeah.
we have the Lift shorts with the word evil right behind them. One of a kind, never
Yeah.
been done before. Damn, Frank,
Yeah.
you were thinking on this one.
Oh, that is insane.
Wow.
That is insane. Oh, what are we gonna do with those?
I don't know.
though?
We got to do something, right? This is contest worthy or giveaway worthy or
yeah.
wow. Frank's really putting us on the spot right now.
I know. We might that part of it might have to be a too big for
we'll,
next episode.
We'll keep thinking on that, but we'll get that damn certificate signed.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna get something.
Yeah,
cool out
those
of this.
probably have to stay with the golden box, I suppose.
I think
but
I think that all belongs.
I
together.
figured that those other boxes we get, I can reuse those and send our stuff in them.
Those boxes are really cool.
Be like, hey, you ordered some Massenomics stuff? Here it is in this Lift Evil box. We thought it was cool.
Damn. Well, that's the. I would be hard pressed to believe that we will have ever a more elaborate what's in the box segment than that.
That is just still blowing my mind
Yeah.
at this point.
Damn.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, I just feel like I went on this emotional roller coaster, Tanner.
Yeah. And it just, at every turn, it was just high. It wasn't a roller coaster with ups and downs and a slow ending. It's just a roller coaster where it just gets better and more fun as you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Wow.
Frank hit a home run there. But like you said, it's worth saying again, go make sure to follow Frank on Instagram. You know what Frank does is Frank does a really cool job. Like it's the exact opposite of what you would call a faceless company.
Yeah.
Like Frank is the face of the company.
That's what I'm just trying to think off the top of my head if there's anyone else that's involved in the actual production level of their company the way Frank is. Like does all his own art, does all of his Instagram stuff,
and he does this wild stuff like this just super cool. Like
as far as I know, I think he prints all of his own stuff too. Like I don't know if anyone else is actually involved in every aspect of their apparel company the way he is.
Yeah, does it start to finish. So and he is a really nice guy too. Like he is a good dude. The type of guy that would go out of his way to like help other people and stuff. So you can feel good by supporting his company. And usually we joke about stuff, but that's a legit thing. Like, and he's a son of a bitch. Just at risk of saying too much nice stuff about somebody.
Wow, I'm kind of speechless about this whole thing, Tanner.
Yeah, pretty cool. I guess we gotta get to our ads though, and then get to our guests.
Do we though? Do we really?
I
have
know.
to?
I just don't want this to end.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, we got a freaking pink voice recorder thing here where we can play back and let's see. It has the rewind button in there.
Box to see what it is, and I'll just say, if you want to keep it, keep it.
I don't know how we could ever, like get him equally get him back. Like there's no like one upping to this. It's like he just went for the
he just went for the kill shot right off the bat.
He did.
Yeah, we can't recover from that.
No. He really did a good job of hijacking the podcast though too.
Yeah, he did. It's one of those things. It's like, is this going to go for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can't stop it. I just got to listen. I don't know how long he's going to have us for. Wow. Okay.
It's like Chris, after you open all your Christmas
that's
presents.
the amount of paper and boxes and clothes and odd toys.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, if you read those ads, and then we're going to get to our guests too, right? We do have a good guest.
we are going to
this
put our
week.
guests on the line.
All right, awesome.
I mean, this part did go a while, but we're still going to put our guests on the line, Tanner.
All right.
Today's show.
I bet we're going to hit 2+ hours this episode.
You wouldn't be surprised. Today's show is brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. operates starting strength affiliate gyms out of Southern California. They have a staff of experienced starting strength coaches that know the best way to develop strength. through the barbell movements. Grant, the owner of the Strength Co., is a Marine, and he is passionate about obtaining quality American products and labor for all aspects of his business. The Strength Co. makes premium, made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates. These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime. The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Check out their plates and all their other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Since 2004, Lifting Large has been providing lifters across the world with powerlifting gear from Titan Support Systems. Lifting Large has the largest in-stock supply on Titan wrist and knee wraps in the world. Home of the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, they're always in stock and always ready to ship. They also have ER competition combo racks in stock and ready to ship too. They're the only powerlifting supplier with live website chat support available during the weekdays, and you can get email replies to your questions in hours, not days like the other guys. They are now accepting Amazon Pay and Stripe for a quick and simple checkout, and once your order is complete, it will ship fast with same-day shipping on most orders. Massenomics customers can use code MASS20, that's MASS20, to get 20% off Lifting Large branded products and also receive an additional 50 rewards points added to your Lifting Large account. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's at liftinglarge.com. This episode of the Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the Safety Squat Bar Strap. The Safety Squat Bar Strap is the perfect strap to keep you in your gym bag if you don't want to fork out the cash for a safety squat bar or if your gym doesn't have one. The SPUD Inc. Safety Squat Strap is simple to use and just attaches to nearly any bar you own: Buffalo, Duffalo, Rhino, Cambered, or the classic straight bar. And don't worry, the Safety Squat Bar Strap doesn't make squatting any easier than a normal safety bar would. It will still fry your mid and upper back, but it is much easier on the shoulders than the nasty old straight bar. You can even put your forearms or elbows in the straps and squat with no hands if you want. Check out the Safety Squat Bar Strap online at spud-inc-straps.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. Last but not least, Tanner, do you know who you've been paying attention? Do you know who we have left on this list?
Have I been paying attention? Yes.
Okay.
I was multitasking.
This episode finally is also brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance and their delicious chocolate protein. Do you know what's in your supplements, Tanner?
Oh, you said my name, so now I know you're talking to me.
Do you know what's in your supplements? I was looking at the camera when I said that one. People could probably sense that through the speakers.
Yeah.
If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients at their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym, build muscle, and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low or no carb options depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate fudge, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. Not that one chocolate flavor you said. What was that, Tanner?
Some sort of chocolate.
They don't have that flavor yet.
After this, Merritt's going to go, oh, some sort of chocolate. That's got a ring to it.
Some kind of chocolate. Yeah. Most orders are shipped within one business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS, M-A-S-S, to save a massive 20% on your order. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thanks, sponsors.
Tanner, before we call our guest, do we have anything we got to say real quick?
I don't think so.
I guess, thanks again, Frank. This is insane looking at all this stuff here.
Yes, Frank is a crazy son of a gun.
Also, thank you, fusionsp.net, for sending over this delicious tub of chocolate fudge.
That's it, protein. I think. Let's get our guest on,
all right,
Lauren.
Let's get our guest on the line.
Hello?
Derek, you're live on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy.
What's up, Derek?
Your timing was perfect before.
We were
midstream.
You had us worried there for a second again.
It was. I was like, really? I'm like, well, I think I could go to the bathroom quick. I had my headset in, and I was like mortified. I was going to answer the call while I was midstream.
That wouldn't be completely out of the normal for our podcast, probably.
You'd be just fine.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
No,
it's my type of show.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you on. In the past, we've had Travis Ortmeyer on, and I mentioned to him too, like that era of Strongman when you guys were coming up is when I really started to get really into it and watching it closely. You know, when it would air on TV and being excited about it. So just as like a fan moment, it is pretty exciting for us to get you on here.
I appreciate that. Was an energy drink, not a beer, just so you.
Either way, that would also fit in just fine too, probably.
Yeah, I work midnight, so I am have to get properly caffeinated before I go in. No, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. It's kind of still a weird, weird thing when people say they're fans. The funny story, I was getting a root canal yesterday by a dentist, obviously.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
You went to the right place.
Better than the veterinarian.
I almost called him my dentist. I almost called him my dentist. So I was like, wait, it's not my. It was my dentist, but it's not like mine. So, and he was like, he always talks about competing, and we have these pretty interesting conversations, and he's like, and he's like super interested in it. And it's funny because I not that I'm not, but it's just not, it's like, some guys, wear this shit on their sleeves, they're like, don't you know who I think I am? Walking around and it's just not, that's not me. Most people wouldn't really know, because I don't go around and talk about my, my former life or whatnot. So I think that's a bit of a, so it's funny because it generally doesn't come up in my daily life, and that's dare I say by design, but that's kind of the point. I don't. It was always just a hobby, know, and I think that's what made my career a little different, and my trajectory a little different than most.
For a hobby, you're pretty good at it.
I wish I was that good at my hobby.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it begs to say, I mean, if you're take something too seriously, then I feel like it puts too much pressure on you. The pressure to succeed is just, it's there, obviously, but it's quantified more when your livelihood, your paycheck, your, everything that, you've put into something is, relies on your performance. And, for me, I just, compete on a, Friday, Saturday, and go back to work on a Sunday. And, I think that for me is what made, my particularly so dangerous. My my career path was a pretty steep climb, and I think I was known for being somebody that was just brutal. You couldn't count me out. But that all was because I just really didn't give a shit. I was just, it was just for fun. And then when it was no longer fun, I just retired.
Yeah.
So I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think about the idea? So you take like Half Thor, I know, did it. Eddie Hall kind of has done it, where they got to a certain point in time, and maybe before they've experienced too many injuries, they decide to get out of it. That seems to maybe be more of a trend that I see, because I've seen like Martine's Leeds say something similar to that he kind of sees the time window of when he would get out. What do you think of that attitude towards it? Getting in for a certain period of time and then jumping out maybe before you do experience career. And right.
Well, that's, I think that's for the smart guys. I'm not really that smart. I would have to say that the sport for me wasn't really ever a choice. Like I didn't just go out there and say, oh, I'm going to compete in World's Strongest Man and, just destroy my body. It just was, I always just did that anyways. And, this was an outlet for me to be able to do it and get some recognition. And I still do it today. I mean, I don't really post any videos, but I train a couple guys. You interviewed one of the guys I really enjoy
Big
coaching. Oh my God, he's one of my favorite human beings.
He's a good dude.
He is, and I've known him for a really long time. I still train like an absolute asshole because, I tell people to do a lot of crazy shit, and the only reason they do it is because I usually do it first, and then I say, listen, I'm going to have you do, kettlebell swings for 2 minutes, and then push a prowler for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to have you, do a yoke for 2 minutes, all nonstop, and then do that, 3 times. And, when they're through like the kettlebell swings, they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. What is, and the whole point is, do you want to train to, be a World's Strongest Man competitor, or do you want to train to win? And there's a difference,
right?
And training to win isn't, it's more mental than physical. Like it doesn't, I love when people question sort of the things that I do, like the 350 rep curl set, a couple of years ago. And they're like, oh, your form was terrible in the last 100 reps. Oh, thank you. I mean, but it's like the point isn't the curl. Like if you're critiquing my curl form, then you're a complete asshole because you don't even understand what the point is. The point isn't about, anything to do with the muscle. It's about the mind, understanding that, we look at the physical, like the mind, the muscle. And, I just think that, we use these training, methods to treat our body like veal, like in this cage and, just fattening everything up and, just everything's got to be perfect, and I don't think that really makes you a good athlete. I mean, I think athletes, don't have to suffer necessarily, but, if you want something, you have to sacrifice for it. Like if I go and buy my kids a car, they're going to treat that thing like shit because it's, because they didn't earn it, Yep. So there's something to say about, really just, and it sucks because sometimes people kind of know that they don't have to suffer like that because it really is not going to make them a better athlete physically. But the mind part is a whole nother ball game, and generally 99.9% of the time when people fail in the gym, it's a choice. They're choosing to stop, versus the opposite, which is, the mind overpowering the body, because the body isn't really in charge, but we let it be in charge and we let it communicate to us and tell us, it negotiates, a contract, and we're like, okay, well, if you stop now, it's good enough. Well, no, I mean, but there's a difference, right? I'm talking about training to be an athlete, right? Not just training to go. If anyone trains like that, that just is sort of in the gym on a weekend, you're a twisted, fuck, right? Because, it puts you in this position where like you start getting this weird mindset and mentality, and you see them. I mean, there's plenty of athletes. You're like, that guy's kind of weird, and it's because you push yourself and you learn where those limits are. And once you kind of get beyond that, I feel like it opens you up to this sort of different style of not just lifting but living. I don't look at something and be like, oh, I can't do that. I got to put an addition on my house. I can't do that. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, right.
Then my wife's like, really? I mean, really? Don't, please don't. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a couple questions for you. I don't know. These are not necessarily lightning round questions, but they're kind of three of them that I was thinking of that I'll shoot over to you. And these are all just your opinion. So answer them however you want to. But first one, who has the best physique ever of World's Strongest Man competitors?
Manfred Holbrook, I would say.
Didn't he have like 25-inch arms or something insane like that?
Like 24. Well, but more importantly, you forget the do-rag.
Yes. No, I do. I remember that. That's the picture I'm thinking of. Yeah. But there is a picture of you. I don't know what year, World's Strongest Man, doing the power stairs.
And it looks like your biceps about to overpower your
anyone
arm.
listening right now. I don't know what you need to Google. Just look up Google Derek Poundstone power stairs or World's Strongest Man Derek Poundstone. It'll pop up, and it's of you doing the powers. You'll know where it's at and everything. But that is a scary picture.
Well, there's actually a pretty interesting story behind that, and it just goes to show you what training is, what does to the body. Like training at that level. And so the story was, that was South Africa, 2009, 2009, 10, I forget, 2010. And I had torn my quad 3 weeks prior. And anyone knows like my training philosophy, I just brutalized myself for like 3 months, probably 3 months leading up to Worlds usually. And then I back off like 2 weeks. It's a whole philosophy I have, just, like it's like breaking a bone, it heals stronger. So I just break myself mentally and physically. And then, I rebound and I come in, usually have these pretty good performances. So I had torn my quad 3 weeks out from World. I had a torn quad in that competition, and like a legit torn. There was a video of me, like it was a fucking torn. I tore my vastus lateralis in my right quad.
Is that the video where you're like bruised all the way down to your toes?
Yep, bottom of my feet. It was pretty bad. Well, then I flew. I was like, well, I'm out. I can't compete. So I did some seminars and stuff in Korea and Japan. I flew all over the world, and they made it worse. And then like a week before, I'm like, I think I could do Worlds. I must have been like, taking too many pain pills or something, because that was like stupidest thing ever. But I took ninth. I qualified for the final. And that was that was a qualifying round, actually. I think I had Terry Hollins, me, what the fuck's his name from Iceland, not Iceland, Norway. He's on the show Viking. I can't believe I'm getting that pissed. I forgot his name. But the point is, so that's here nor there. So my body, I just like overcompensated just from training so hard and then not really training. The only thing I could do was curl. Right. One thing that didn't hurt, right. Benching hurt because I hurt to get that, so I just curled for basically 2 weeks, and destroyed the events. Did pretty good until I had to move. The deadlift video is actually crazier. There's a video of me doing the deadlift in the qualifying heats. It's like Travis Terry was in my group, and another dude from Italy too, whatever. So I responded very well to the the traveling, obviously, and that, but also the time off from really training hard. And I came in at like 335 or so, and Yeah, I mean, I look like a
monster.
Yeah, my performance is terrible. But I mean, well, the funny thing is that log, I think I took third on the max log. I think it strict pressed 420. And at that time, I wasn't really a big log. I mean, I was, had a decent log, but I was a push presser and I couldn't really push. So I just strict pressed it,
Yep.
Yeah. So, but so I have an affinity towards that sort of cartoon physique. I mean,
that's you definitely of all strongmen. I think you achieved that pretty well.
Yeah, it shows.
Yes.
Well, that was never my goal. I mean, keep in mind that was, I wouldn't look at myself and be like, oh, I got to get bigger arms or,
right.
It's just the way I train. I mean, the high rep curls obviously wasn't, obviously train my biceps, but a lot of it was pain tolerance and understanding, like we were talking about before, kind of going through that whole process of when the body's like, ow, and just kind of pushing through that. And I couldn't really do that on any other muscle group because, I would overtrain and risk injury, but the biceps were perfect, So they were like the sacrificial lamb, if you will, of my training and they responded ironically, and at the time when I was posting stuff up, on social media, which at that point was basically like YouTube and Facebook, I think it was some MySpace stuff going back to early 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, controversial. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And you got a lot of criticism for it. But, my philosophy was just like what I said, I mean, it was an opportunity for me to, experiment with this kind of delving into the psychology of lifting. I hate to say the psychology because it's not preparing for a lift, but understanding in the sport of strongman when you're carrying, a heavy yoke or particularly like a sandbag carry or keg carry or even Atlas stones when you're tired. Like I never quit during events, I mean, you'll never see that happen. There is one, the sandbag carry in South Africa that I torn quad. I wasn't able to do any sort of cardiac conditioning. And it wasn't that I couldn't handle it, as far as the breathing, it's just about the muscles in my legs just completely engorged with blood. I could hardly move.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, that's not the lightning round. That was like
the inverse of lightning round.
Well, one thing I did want to say that you touched on really quick there is, you have, as far as the fitness world of YouTube goes, you have videos from like 2010, which is like, feels like before the dawn of YouTube. Like what?
2010. I have videos from 2004.
Is there ones that old? Okay, I couldn't remember how old they actually went back, but like, what made you? Because there were so few people doing that. Then what made you decide, like, hey, I'm going to put some of my training videos on YouTube?
So YouTube, I think, started in like 2002 or one. What became, somewhat more relevant in the early 2000s, and I had turned pro in like 2004, and prior to turning pro, I was on a couple of training forums, just forums. That's, the big thing then. Now it's blogs and whatnot, but, and originally I was filming my training, not for posterity, but for, game day footage, right? To be able to see what I was doing and critique it, because at that particular time there wasn't really a lot of. I used to have to travel like 2 hours to upstate New York and lift plaster of Paris Atlas stones, and flip a tire with Gerard Benderoff, that was it. Like two pieces of equipment, and at Ben Lambos's house, it's a buddy who really first was there and invited me to come up train with his group, and then Art McDermott invited me up to his house back in when Kevin Nee was still in high school, and he'd come up there and train, and that was also 2 hours, and he had some more stuff. So I had to travel like crazy, and so even before that I was filming my stuff, and then I had the idea of just posting it, and the idea was that the digital format at that time for recording was constantly changing. I remember even just listening to music. It's funny, but you went from like CDs to like mini discs to MP3s,
Yep.
right? And then there's various versions of MP3s, all within a very quick time period. And I'm a long game sort of guy, so I've had the same cell phone number for 21 years, same one car insurance company my entire life. I've never had it, I'm steady Eddie, and so the idea that I had an opportunity to, for free, save this stuff, so, and then I saw people were watching it. I was like, what the fuck, really? Okay. So then I started writing little, and I was like, do I say or do I remember like I spent like a week or so, like do I say like it was all like a third person, like Derek does, and then you'll see like another video where it says,
but it's weird because
and
nobody was doing it yet. So
I mean,
like, it sounds weird to say that now, but like when there was no
standard
reference
hadn't
for
really
you.
been set yet.
Yeah, there's videos of me with like I put like an exhaust on my car back in like 2004 and recorded it and posted it,
Yeah, I think I saw a video of you going down a water slide on like a cruise ship or something.
Yeah, and that's like, oh wait, that's still 4 years later. I mean, I got stuff, that was so what happened was my then wife, well then girlfriend, then fiance, wife, ex-wife, she went through the stages of relationship, right? But she, she posted videos. She actually we changed the name when we got divorced, or probably I think a year or so before. We changed the name on her account to mine because she posted all the videos of me. So that Derek Poundstone one is actually the newer. There's an older one that was just Derek Poundstone. That was the original one. That was, you can still see the videos. It's just, I think it's like LB Stone or something weird. And those are the original, like maybe 20 or 30 videos. It was like, really grainy video of like, 405, maybe even a 495, like behind the neck push jerk. I think it was 495. And this is going back to like, again, early 2000s, like probably 2004, 2005. And at that time, there was no one really, but I don't like, the funny thing, it was like, I did that first. I don't really give a shit. I mean, I just did it because it was convenient, and then, it just worked out for me. And then it seemed like it caught on. I don't think it caught on because of me. I just think, I just was there and capitalized on it as a way of, sort of being able to free my hard drive on my computer from all this digital media, and knowing that the different formats that video was coming at that time was varied so much. Now it's all fairly similar, but for people that are listening and for you guys, I mean, we forget. I mean, there was a time when there wasn't, easy access. I mean, I literally have recordings on an old VHS-C, that I recorded some of my training. Because that's, I mean, and when I coach guys, it's imperative that they post videos to me in the training app.
Right.
Because that's my thing. I mean, that's what I enjoy doing. And that's what I think makes me a little, I won't say makes me different. There's a lot of guys that can and probably do that, but that's something that I'm not gonna say enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy, watching and critiquing lifts. But that's what you get with me. That's kind of what I do when I coach like Rob, as I break down the lifts, and I'm able to see kind of what's going on. And that's what has sort of really highlighted my career, going back to some of my crazier lifts. It wasn't like by accident, like, some of the world records and stuff that I've done. They were, analyzing footage and looking where guys were doing it and seeing if I can sort of capitalize. And I have dozens of performances that are just odd, and banned because, I won't say I cheated. It's not even close to, I just found a way to not make the lift easier, but to make it so it worked for me. And, there's too many to really talk about, but there's one in particular that you probably will never really see because I think they edited it out of almost all the competitions. But I used to do a Husafeld stone carry, and I would struggle with my grip. The breathing was fine, so I trained taking a knee, before everyone took a knee in football.
Yep.
But I would take a knee.
So like halfway through the walk, you through the run, you would go down to a knee.
Yeah, and not halfway, because it was too risky. I could lose it,
Okay.
But I couldn't go beyond 90% because I couldn't stand back up, and it had to be done just right, and I had to have about 10% energy left in the tank, and I would take a knee, and usually the rule of thumb for me is between 3 and 5 seconds is all you really need to get everyone knows how the energy cycle, the Krebs cycle, to get that about 80% recovered takes about 3 to 5 seconds, because this is all anaerobic,
But would you use the opportunity would you set it on your leg and regrip it then? Is that what you?
Yes.
Yeah, your up leg, you would rest the stone on there a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with that though is you have to put it forward, close to the knee.
Right.
Because if you put it towards the thigh, it would actually kick it out, up and away from your body, and and you have this 400-pound object that's falling out of your grip. So you had to put it on your knee, and then that made it so the pick was levered away from you. So 400 pounds felt like 500 pounds. But I trained it that way, and then it wasn't easy by any stretch of imagination. I just found that was.
It doesn't seem like it would be easy. It's not like that's not a cheat code. That's
the one easy hack for the who's supposed to.
No, right.
No, but I just found that with my body style and with the way that I trained it worked. It worked, and then when I would stand up, it felt like my pelvis was going to rip apart. Because the amount of force, the lateral force, was huge. But then they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, well, I mean, no one's doing it effectively.
Right.
Like it's like the hitch. They banned that crazy hitch that like 2008 I did in Worlds with the Jeep.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Marius's looks like it looks like some sort of
a ramp or
it's like some like ADD kid is like I got it. But like he's just like pulling like haphazardly, like
all right.
Well, you can do that, but then mine's technical. Like it's like you look at it and they're like, oh, it's precision. Like I trained it that way. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, so you can ramp it like a freaking idiot,
Yep.
But I'm very elegantly, right? Like if you watch the videos, placing it right at that one spot on my knee where it's not going to cause injury.
Yep.
And then I regroup, I get my hips underneath the weight, and I stand up. I mean, and like, well, if it's so easy, then how come everyone else isn't doing it?
That's true. That's the exact right point. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and not just that, my knees could withstand that force, like, because I trained that, like the other guys would be bruised and limping away and probably get injured, but I trained that way, and that's where Rob picked that up, and he does it perfect too. But they don't like it, doesn't look good or whatever. Okay, so you can glide that sucker up your thigh, like it's just okay, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but.
Also, isn't Strongman the idea kind of
get the weight from
it's just
point A to
B, like the rest doesn't really matter, a lot of times.
Well, I'm not really a guy that makes a lot of friends when I compete. Again, it's just a hobby, so like everyone's all serious and I'm like, I'm not talking about the guys, I'm talking about the promoters.
Right.
I remember, it's now Strongman's Champions League. We're part SCL, but when they were IFSA, they did, the World's Strongest Men crew asked me to compete in Worlds 2008 qualifier at Mohegan Sun. And the IFSA group was like, yeah, no, you really shouldn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah. No, I'm serious. That's like, and then they didn't pay me $25,000 I won in the IFSA World Championships 2006. So, but they can get away with it. When I could sue them, I mean, they're out overseas. I just basically.
Are you saying they didn't pay you when they owed you?
They did. Oh no, yeah, they did not pay me $25,000.
And so you never got that. To this day, that you never saw that money.
Oh no.
Yeah, that sucks.
But but that's part of the ownership went to Strongest Champions League. And, the irony is, when I was on the phone with those guys prior to, and there was no contract, like I couldn't compete. They're like, oh, well, because if people don't know, 2004, maybe just before that, the athletes separated from World's Strongest Man, and you had the World's Strongest Man, which was basically the organizers, and you had the athletes, which was International Federation of Strength Athletes, IFSA.
Yep.
Basically almost like trying to unionize them. And Phil Pfister and a bunch of other guys were part of the original group. I was part of the second tier group of the guys that came in. So I competed all over the world, and they were good. I mean, listen, I competed. That's why I think my trajectory was so quick to people that they perceived me just bursting on the scene, but I was competing since 2005, in IFSA,
right,
and got the invite to 2006 IFSA World Championships in Iceland, and I couldn't go because that's when I ruptured one disc in my back, which led to another rupture later on. But then I went to 2007 IFSA World Championships and was in second place. And I think it was leading. No, I was in second place in front of Zadrunas going in the last event and tore a callus on my hand, and he beat me. But that time I was competitive against Zadrunas when nobody else was. And then when people were shocked when I beat him in 2008.
That's Are you one of the only? That's what question I had for you today. Are you? As far as you're aware, are you one of the only guys to beat Zadrunas? It's got to be a short list of people that actually have beat him in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really give a shit. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or I'm not going to say no. I don't. I mean, is it really relevant?
Right.
I mean, I beat him.
Yeah.
But he beat me more than I beat him, so he's better than me. That's what matters. But I do know that, at that particular time, a lot of guys couldn't beat him and I could. And I beat Marius too in the same year. And it's just, it's too easy to, look at that, but there's a reason, because no one could compete in both federations at that time. And so I competed in IFSA in early 2008. And then, or 2005, 6, 7, and the beginning of 2008, I was invited to World's Strongest Man Super Series in Mohegan Sun in my home state of Connecticut, and second home state of Connecticut. I ended up pissing off IFSA guys because they said, well, you can't. And I literally said, fuck, I can't. Like, what are you, my mom? You can't do that. And then it just turned into a thing. And I was like, listen, you guys still owe me 25 grand. And then they never paid me. I was like, whatever. I mean, and I just always said if I ever saw them, I would knock their teeth out, but
that's why they made sure to never see you again.
Yeah, well, I never got invited to that fair. No, and it's I'm kidding. At the end of the day, I mean, I think the organizers they didn't pay anybody that year, or at least they paid everything to Zadrunas, which again, I get it, whatever, he's Eastern European. They were all Eastern European, so it is what it is. And they paid like Cecile Verstook because he was a scary guy. I'd pay him too. Guy had like 3 bullet holes in his body. Yeah, he's like shot, and weird stories like wife drowned, and you're like, oh my god, this guy. That group of guys I first competed with, I mean, they're rough. But at that point, I just did it I just did it for fun. So when they said I couldn't, I said, okay, well, sure, that's funny. And then I competed in Fortissimus, and once I signed on, then everyone else from IFSA signed on, and that's when you saw the tides turn to the World's Strongest Man. All of a sudden, you had Zadrunas, me, Travis, Misha, Andres Mermetz. I think he did compete, but we all came over and just cleaned house, because we were competing in Eastern Europe at that time. And the best part was I would come home and go to work, and people were like, why are these guys the World's Strongest Man? You're apparently, quote unquote, air quotes, stronger than them. I'm like, I mean, listen, it is what it is. And then I go to Worlds and almost win. They're like, oh shit, okay, I guess you're pretty good, but that's again, the whole hobby part of it for me is it wasn't, money, fame, or fortune. I just really enjoyed doing it.
Right.
To this day, I mean, if I could without getting injured and whatnot, I would, but I mean, I can't, so I coach it instead,
Yeah. these next couple of questions, you might think they're kind of stupid and pointless, but I want you to just humor me and come up with an answer anyways. Who is the best strongman to not finish first at World's Strongest Man?
Oof. Man, I mean, there's different categories. I mean,
you can just say it's you.
No, God, no. Man, that's a tough one because there's a lot of good guys that I'd have to go with more recent guys, I guess. Yeah, see, I coach a couple guys in Worlds.
Right,
I can't say anyone recently.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'll say one of my of the guys I coach. One of the guys that I really enjoyed watching. I think would have done well winning is Misha. Buklayev.
Yeah. Right.
And the reason I'll say him is because he was. I competed against him. There's guys like Travis and Rob who I have a relationship with, and I don't want to say their names because I think it's they're still competing. Misha, I'm fairly certain is done, and I don't think he's going to come back. And because I personally know him, so I'm not going to go in the history books and start digging up names and whatnot. I think that for me, he's someone that I think really just his strength isn't really. It's hard to really capture it because I competed against him for a long time, and he was. He was a 900-pound deadlifter when that wasn't a thing.
Right.
There's when Benny was the only one pulling 900. And of course Andy Bolton, but in the strongman realm, it was really only Benny. And then there's Misha show me videos of low 900-pound deadlifts. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What about what's a more impressive? Well, okay. Let me come back to something that we just kind of touched on there. What about, was it 2008? Was that the Atlas Stone run?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you think about that? I know you said it's all for fun and stuff, but that you literally, I would say, could not be close. It could not be closer to having won that year. How often do you think about that anymore?
I think it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to my career. My interpretation of a World's Strongest Man winner is not somebody that just can win it once, because the years after I couldn't win it. I won other competitions.
Yep.
Almost every other one I entered, but I didn't win Worlds. And, to be a one-time winner, I don't really think is it's not really good for the sport. It's not really, if you win one time and you retire, okay, so be it. That's different. But I competed in 2009, 10, 11, and 12, and had opportunity to win those, and I didn't, So I think winning it in 2008, and then sort of, if I had, and then having a poor performance, not want to say poor, but having not winning it those following years, I don't think that would have been. I think it would have. I think it would have changed my career. I think it kept me hungry. And I had that picture framed up in my old gym, right at the moment where the stone was on the platform.
Yep.
It's just a reminder that there's no guarantees. But I probably would have got some more money and endorsements and stuff like that. And I'd be able to call myself World's Strongest Man instead of every time people are like, oh, you're World's Strongest Man, because people just say, because they assume everyone that competes. And I'm like, no, I took second one year.
Yeah.
But that, but I honestly think it was probably arguably the best thing to happen to my career, because without that, I don't think you have the 2009, 2010 Arnold Classic Championship wins. I don't think you have the 2000 Fortissimus was prior to that, but I don't think you have some of my better performances without the hunger. Yeah, that was a pretty good fire in me for a couple of years. It wasn't anger, nothing. It was that was mine, and now I need to go take it, sort of mentality.
Yeah.
And I fell short a little bit. a couple times. But like I said, I have probably one of the better records in the Arnold Classic. I took 2 seconds, 2 firsts.
Yes.
Then I think a 9th when I tore my bicep. But still, 4 years only being beat twice, and once by Mike Jenkins and once by Zadrunas, Zadrunas was, I broke his winning streak.
Right.
And then Mike went on to win it twice before passing. He didn't win it again, but he passed, I think, the year and a half after. But so, I mean, it's an honor that to me that, when I was competitive, that those are the only guys that beat me.
Well, what do you think's a bigger win? I know what we talked about World's Strongest Man, how it has the, it's the name World's Strongest Man, but we've went and watched the Arnold many years, and it is a very cool event, an equal event in its own right. Which one do you think is more impressive to win, World's Strongest Man or the Arnold?
Well, clearly I won the Arnold, so that's more impressive.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, I mean, no. So Worlds is the show your win, right? I mean, that's more of a, ironically, it's more of a psychological deal. Now it's not as bad because the athletes have air conditioned tents, and they're taken care of pretty good, But when I was competing, you weren't. You kind of had to figure it out for yourself, and I think that was part of the mystique, is it was a challenge, in and among itself, just to be able to survive and have these, we had these insane performances in these insane locations, and you competed for, I think it was 3 days, 3 to 4 days qualifying, a day off, and then like 3 days or so of finals. I think that was a whole different ball game than the other stuff, than the Arnold, which is just basically 2 days.
How about the Louis Cyr stone? Was that a Fortismus competition up in Canada where you were the only one that lifted it? I think you described the video, Tommy.
I think in the video, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Z had you on time on the stone before that, and he kind of
thought he had it won,
like a
almost
quick celebration, and then you kind of start making some headway with this last stone, and go on to get it. It's a really cool video to watch.
And so what I'm wondering, I think what people say is Louis Cyr shouldered that stone or something like that. Is that right? And if so, do you think that that's true? Could that have been done?
Well, that was a replica. Just
right.
Replica. Yeah. It wasn't like excuse me, I keep clearing my throat. It wasn't like the Husafeld replica.
Right. The actual right.
Yeah. It's not like that. It's just a block of stone that weighed 5. So it's supposed to be 517, but it weighed 537 if I recall, 535. Because the promoter, the guy making the stone was like, well, no one's gonna lift it, so it's close enough.
Yeah. Right.
No, I mean, it was not supposed to be. It was a joke. Like, lift it. I don't. I mean, Louis Cyr is, if you know his history, I mean, he was like 5'10", I think, or 5'9", well over 300 pounds. And I know a couple guys that fit that sort of bill. So it's possible. It's definitely not impossible to lift it to your shoulder. I mean, it's especially when you think about, like, for instance, the Husafeld stone, right? Like that's the whole gate to the sheep's pen. And these young Icelandic guys, because there's no wood around, they would lift it and move it to the side. And then just because young guys are just young guys, full of energy and whatnot. So they would walk. Then they take laps around the sheep's pen and then turn into a competition, amongst the brothers. And so in that same realm, I mean, it's definitely possible. That a guy could train something like that for a period of a couple of months, if not a year, and shoulder it. I mean, the technique I used to get on the box really wasn't that. I mean, there was a lot of strength involved, but I had spent the better part of probably about an hour on the sidelines watching every single guy attempt it. And then every single time I was going out and looking where they're grabbing and sort of seeing, where I thought I could grab it. And I don't know, it's like almost like I don't say pizza shape, but it had like a triangle section, right? Where it was like, it went to a V. And I kind of figured that if I kind of pulled it from the top of that V, I could get it between my legs, and then once I got there, I could get one of the flat sides of the V onto my other leg, and then just lean it on the box and push it on the box, which is what I did.
Were you confident that you were going to be able to do it before you got your hands on it?
I was positive. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Oh, because I'm going to say, I don't think you could. I don't think that's something anyone could do unless they, just like what you said, unless they already believe they are going to do it.
Like, oh, I'll go see what happens.
I'll
here.
give it a try. Like, if that's your attitude, you're never going to get it, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that there's a lot of stuff that I think is just sort of on the fly. When I say on the fly, I mean, I was looking at it and I didn't really have an opportunity to really lift it. They let me kind of grab it between a couple of competitors just to kind of say, listen, it's just for my safety, and it's a big stone, so I didn't really move it, just kind of give it a couple pulls here or there, So it was on the fly in that I just had a plan, and there's a lot of elements of that plan that didn't really work. But as long as I'm pretty good at thinking while I'm lifting, and I'm able to make adjustments, which is sort of my lifting style. And that definitely played into that stone a lot. And, an example of that is I remember training, right around that time period with a group of guys, and I was training for the 555 pound. I had a 555 pound Atlas stone that I used to, load over the bar to mimic the Arnold. At that time, no one was lifting a stone even close. Travis was close. I think he was doing like 530. I remember warming up to like 405, and I was too far away from the yoke. And one of my training partners, named Dave Olive, he's like, "You're too far from the yoke. What do you just shoulder it?" And I was too far. I mean, I just didn't realize I wasn't paying attention. So I was like, "Oh, shoulder, that's something. Fuck yeah, I'll do that." So I just shouldered the 405, And the point is, I mean, that is a part of the training, obviously, shouldering the stones that helps with the explosive hip, pop for the hips. But there's no reason to shoulder a 405. That's just really dangerous and kind of dumb. But because he said it, kind of like smirkingly, I was like, yeah, okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And another example is 2008 or 2009, or one of the Mohegan Suns. They were doing this car deadlift, and I was just, I came in the best shape. It's 2010. Came in the best shape of my life. I mean, I was like probably 340. I pressed like a 330 or 340 log, like 9-10 reps easy, from the floor. And I remember I was deadlifting, and someone's like, "Do 20," because the winning number was 16. And I did 20, and I just stopped at 20. And because there's some like drunk dude in the crowd, I was like, and it's kind of like, but that's the hobby part of it. Like, a lot of guys want to do that because you waste energy, but I think part of it is the show. Like, I like the challenge, and the reason I got into Strongman is the showman. Like, I could train in my garage now. I got a setup, but I still like to go to the gym and squat 700 pounds for 10 reps because I get all like the young kids that are like, "Who the fuck's this balding old guy that's fucking just destroying the squats? Like, what the fuck?" But seriously, I like that. I mean, it like when the whole gym is like, what is he doing? Like, I like that. I mean, I'm just, it's kind of, it's not the attention per se. I just like I like the shock, of like, just, I'm a strong guy. I mean, but I'm 275 now, but I like that. I like that sort of brashness, I guess, or I don't want to say I'm a show off, because I don't think I am. I like that when I was a kid, I saw a guy like squat 500 pounds for the first time. And I remember just like seeing him and just being like, that's insane. And I was always in awe of that. And I think for me, I still hold on to that as something that I think is cool to be part of that kind of showman,
So what do you think is the most impressive lift that you've ever performed, either in the gym or in competition?
It's tough. I mean, I would have to say, I'll give you probably the gym lift is, I'll give you one of each. I mean, back, I can't remember, I think it's 2009. I did a 800-pound deadlift for 9 reps. That I think was probably one of the more impressive gym lifts. And because there's always a backstory. I was suffering through some pretty bad back issues throughout my entire career. I've had a terrible, I have the back of an 80-year-old, according to my neurosurgeon, and all kidding aside, it's really been debilitating, and it's affected my life a lot. And the one reason I think I'm able to be active with my kids and stuff is because after I hurt my back, is I've kept training, and I keep deadlifting, and it hurts, but I think having a strong back is what keeps my back strong. I might say,
right.
It doesn't, it hurts when I train, but it doesn't hurt, when I'm picking up my kids for the most part, or, my body relies on muscle support versus bone support, like you see a lot of guys that have back surgeries and stuff. So, I think it's an impressive feat, but then, and there's probably about 10 or 12, guys and girls that used to train with me. It was probably like 20, but there's 10 or 12 at the gym, I think, right around that day. And they know that I was suffering, immensely that whole month. And the week before I did 750 without a suit for 10. And then and then just threw the suit on without really, it wasn't like I prepared. I just was like, I can't train heavy, like relatively, I was supposed to be pulling over 9, but I couldn't. My back just hurt too bad. So, and it turned out to be this thing that it was like one of the first from my experience, which I won't say went viral, but a lot of people were commenting on it, like on all the different, powerlifting, websites or forums, whatever. So I think that to me, I was, the timing was just right, there's no really reason for me to do that many reps at 800 pounds, but it just worked out. But then you said that for the gym lift, I would have to say the fortissimus stone. And for me, it was big because it was, it was a 20 or right around a 20-second exertion, and just being able to kind of think through it was one of the first times in my career where I was able to think, and as a more of a mature lifter and kind of work through this plan, not just like it's failing, it's not working, and not get frustrated, just keep kind of sticking to the plan. And then when I was done, there was there was people in the crowd, a lot of people that were moved to tears. And, I realized that what I do, I didn't really take it serious a lot, in that it was a hobby and I joked around and stuff, but to a lot of people, it's motivating. And, when I talk to you guys and I sort of, sometimes can, not acknowledge that the impact it might have on people, that's not really fair. And I think that lift was a reminder, or not even a reminder. I was never really even aware that the importance of a role model, or even just being motivated by somebody's actions, and to see people moved, physically and emotionally by a performance. I was shocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I tend to joke around and kid, and just I joke around like a knuckle dragger. I'm just just lifting heavy stuff. But ultimately, a lot of people get motivated by seeing that sort of stuff, and I have to be aware constantly because of that lift. It kind of reminds me that there's people that go through hard stuff, and they might look at some of my performances with my banged up back, or constantly coming back from injury, and I shouldn't belittle those performances. Because it motivates people. And the truth is, I did that because I was scared. I was scared of failure, not because of money, fame, or fortune, just evaporating, but more because, I didn't want it to go away because I was having so much fun, that's the difference when I competed, is I'm always smiling. I always had fun. And that's why I like working with Rob, because, the guy's always fucking smiling. He's clearly having a good time. And that's so important because people feed off that.
Yeah, that's cool. So we've got this game we like to play. It's called Overrated, Underrated. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but it's not extremely complicated. We've just got a series of topics that are special, handpicked for Derek Poundstone, and you get to answer them. You can answer as short or as long as you want to, but you do have to come up with overrated or underrated. You can't ride the line.
Perfect. I
All
like
right.
it.
All right, then there's some doozies in here, so hope you're buckled in. Okay.
I'm buckled in.
All right. Overrated.
No eggplant, I hope.
Okay, good. You did hear no eggplant. We
already got the perfect answer on that one.
Yes, that can't be topped.
True story. As soon as I was like, I had no idea that eggplant was a penis. So I in the middle of listening to the show, I texted my wife an eggplant.
Did she know?
She clearly knew. I was like, I'm the.
She texted you back the peach.
No, she texted in the back the. What the hell are you doing? I was working. I was directing traffic. Listening to you guys talk.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just really happy to know that happened as you were listening to our podcast. Oh, that's great. Okay, so no eggplant, but overrated or underrated Dodge Vipers.
Clearly, extremely underrated.
Because we've noticed you are kind of a gearhead, it looks like.
Yeah, underrated. Saying I'm a gearhead is underrated.
Yeah.
I'm obsession.
And it looked like you had a Viper a few years back, didn't you?
Yeah, a Viper car, and then the Dodge Ram SRT10, the truck too.
Okay. So you said if you could have lived your life and only had one of these, strength training and strongman, or automotive endeavors, which one would you have? If you had to pick one, which one would you have gone with?
I couldn't. I just shoot myself. Can't live with either. Can't live without either.
Yeah, right. Okay, no, that's cool. Overrated or underrated? The bench press events in Strongman. Which we looked at some videos of this, and it looked like you won. The one I saw, it looked like you won. I don't know what event, what competition it was on.
Sweden. It was Sweden. Yeah, that was. I'm going to say a little overrated.
Okay.
It's because you know what it is. It's cool, but too many guys out there just talking about bench. It just gives them more ammo to talk about bench.
Right.
Over it. Yeah. Who cares? It gives validity to the
bench
guys that talk about how much they bench. No one really gives a shit.
Right. It did look interesting though, just because I don't know if prior to this I'd ever even seen one of those videos, and I came across in looking a couple different times with, and it essentially looked like they were utilizing, like the same rig they would use for like maybe like
Viking press.
Viking press, or it reminded me of like some of the squat apparatuses, where they can add weight through there. It did look interesting though, as far as bench press goes.
But overrated.
Okay, that's fair. Overrated or underrated? Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Ooh, now or 10 years ago? There's a difference.
That's a fair point. You could give us your take on both, because I think that is
so. Now I would
point.
say a little underrated. People rely too much on half-naked women on social media to give them weightlifting advice. But I think back, before social media was really a big influence, I think a little underrated. There's some good content. A lot of it was a little, stupid, but because obviously you have advertisers. But I do think that ultimately it was, underrated. Not just because I was on the cover.
I was going to say, for anyone that doesn't know why this is a topic, you were on the cover, which, any joking aside, that is pretty cool.
How many strongmen, or especially at that time, were on the cover of things like that? That couldn't have been that common.
That was zero. That would be zero.
Right. How did that come about?
Well, because I was 320 pounds of twisted steel and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But like, did someone at Muscle and Fitness, they just took notice and like, we got to get this guy on the cover, or like, what? Did somebody call you one day?
No, they're doing an article.
Okay.
There's a really cool article. I forget the gentleman's name. He had a it wasn't his real name, Fitzpatrick. Did a really cool article. It was on sort of exactly what we started talking about, the mental game. And he ended up, because of the article, they ended up putting me on the cover, and it was well received. Usually the covers vary from country to country slightly. That was one of the covers that didn't, and it was on all their sister publications throughout the world. So it was cool in that regard. So I mean, but I do honestly think they had a lot of powerlifters, and like you had Matt, which is now Janae Kroc, on the cover at that. I mean, not on the cover. Well, he was on the cover. Well, he and now she was on the cover then, but also had a nice article about Matt's training at that time, and so they really broke a lot of cool stories, which I think was really, there's no other way to really be exposed to that sort of stuff at that time.
Do you have that framed somewhere in your house?
No, God, no. I'm not. I kid you not. I'm not one of those guys.
I mean, I'd have one framed in my house.
Do you have
exactly.
Do you have a copy of it around somewhere?
Yeah, no, I do.
We both have your copy framed in our house. So.
There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So just apologize to your significant others. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm walking out to my truck. I got to leave for work here in a bit.
Oh, we're almost done then. Then we can.
Oh no, you can tell. Listen, I can talk and drive. It's only illegal. That's right. No, I'm hands free, kind of like my sex life. So just you have to bear with me because my truck's gonna grab the
it's gonna switch over. Hopefully. Oh,
there we go.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
just let me know if there's background noise. I'll keep it on the speed limit.
No, you're doing good. So the last topic here, another good one, and it kind of comes all down to this: how you do on this last one. So, overrated or underrated? Sirius XM Radio.
Ooh, as at speed, I just got into my truck. Definitely underrated. Just underrated. I mean, how can you not like? I travel a lot, for some side work I do, and how can you not have radio that you can listen to for more than 15 minutes when you're traveling?
And, well, that's true. And so, could you explain why that's a topic for you on Derek Poundstone's version of overrated, underrated?
Well, so the irony is, before I was listening to. Before you called, I was actually trying to find my old headset so I can wow you guys with how clear I was going to sound. Unfortunately, I got a pair of like Beats wireless headset deal, whatever. But I had a radio show for quite a few years. Probably about 4 years on satellite radio.
Poundstone Power Radio.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, I can easily talk for 2 hours. So it was a 2-hour radio show on Wednesday nights. I ended it right before my daughter was born. Just I couldn't be spread any thinner than I already was. So it was sad to stop. But you guys can still hear me, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
Well, and the funny thing is, I'm not sure. You guys didn't bring up one of the questions I was sure that you guys were going to bring up.
Well, bring it up.
I said when I said my first. You guys know what my first home state is?
What is it?
South Dakota.
No.
I grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota.
You did? Really?
Oh,
so
crap.
Central, West. South Dakota.
Yeah, wow.
Central
Really?
West.
So how long did you live there?
1990 to 1998. I moved to Connecticut in 98.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I went up to high school.
What high school did you go to?
I spent 2 years in Central.
Okay.
And then I lived actually between Rapid City and Keystone.
Yeah.
in a little town called Rockerville. It wasn't really a town, but Highway 16 goes up that way. There's like a little separation where there's a bunch of little stores and stuff. So I was close enough that I was able to do 1 year Hill City.
Okay.
And then I ended up being in, my family situation changed. My father had moved out of the state, and so did my mother. So I was on my own at that point. So I had left the state and finished up schooling out here on the East Coast.
Did you play football in high school?
Yeah, I played 1 year in middle school, but that was when ninth grade, eighth and ninth grade was middle school.
Yeah.
So as an eighth grader, I played for Hillside. I think it was Hillside or something. I forget the name of the school.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we definitely did not know that. That is, you just shocked us on
I
the
thought you were going to be playing some trick on us here.
Yeah, no. I was out in South Dakota. My father was stationed in Ellsworth Air Force Base.
Oh, okay.
From 1990 until he retired in like 94, 95. So that's why we were out that way.
Have you ever been back?
So I was back in probably, I joined the police force like 04. So, out here in Connecticut. So probably like around 2002, maybe. It might have been, probably around 2002. I was back. I think it was before, I can't remember. It's been a while. And my brother was out there till probably 2005 or 2006. And he's actually down in Florida now. So South Dakota's original.
That's a great piece of Derek Poundstone trivia.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I grew up in Europe before that. So, I mean, I've been all over, but I've spent the majority of my life at this point. So it's weird saying I'm from Connecticut because it's not, I don't really fit that sort of, stereotype of, East Coaster. I'm a more still like a Midwestern guy. Like I do all, that's why I'm a gearhead. I do all the work on my own shit and build stuff and fix stuff. And
Southwest South Dakotan.
It's kind of central
Southwest South Dakota.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue pretty good there.
Yeah.
Wow. So was there any other like trivia facts that we missed out on that you're going to blow our minds with, or was that the last one?
Well, the Europe thing, grew up in Europe. That's really how everything else is.
How did you get the radio show on Sirius XM though? How did that come about?
Well, because I have such a compelling voice. They just, So I think I had done a couple. I had at that time I had some pretty good sponsorships / partnerships with a couple different companies. One of them was DuPont. They had this food ingredient company called Soleil, and they really worked on like kind of stopping some of the bad rep that soy protein was getting at the time. So they hired me on as like a spokesperson at the time, and I was also doing some work at Special Olympics as an ambassador, global ambassador. I had a lot of sort of stuff going on, so it just kind of happened. And I got to say, it's always been a passion. I'm kind of a little bummed that I never pursued it further because that platform was so large and I had such a huge reach, and I wasn't speaking to, like in a podcast, people are seeking you out, but broadcasting across, the entire, all of North America, people just would flip and just you end up on it, a lot of truckers and stuff. So you had to really keep the subject matter kind of like what you guys do. It can't be too serious, but it can't. But it's got to be just serious enough to satisfy people that are seeking you out. But then, you also want to be able to listen for an hour or two and be able to enjoy the subject and not be too like, what the fuck did you just say? So
right.
So I always like that. I like that part of satellite radio, and I miss it. But it's also, I had to drive to New York. I did have a home kit, so I could do it from home, but it just wasn't the same, you know. So I miss I do miss the show, and I liked, you know, driving to New York, and I had a co-host and had producers and interns. It was fun, you know.
That is really cool.
Well, you guys know you've been doing it for long enough, and it's imagine not doing it. You know, it's a lot of work, but it's fulfilling.
Yeah, it would be weird. So you went from satellite radio, your own show, to the Massenomics podcast. You've made it.
You've hit all the highlights.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I don't really, I don't do a lot of these sort of deals, you know, just because I don't like. I think it's why I tend to be so long-winded. When people ask me to talk about myself, I'm like, well, okay, but I just don't really do that in my normal life. You know, I kind of like being that guy that flies on the radar. You know, like most people don't know what I am, or my neighbors don't. My friends obviously do and stuff, but I like being that guy that, like, again, when I go to my dentist, he has no idea until my wife, you know, kind of lets the cat out of the bag. And I'm like, why did he tell him? You know, I just, and he's like, I didn't know you're a celebrity. I'm like, I'm not a celebrity. I lifted heavy stuff for a couple of years, you know, but it's just a different, you know, deal. So, but I know I like Lawrence had asked me to do one of his podcasts.
I saw that
YouTube videos, and you know, and I went on. You know, Zach Allman was the last one part of that, which was like 3 years earlier or so, and he did like this whole thing. He sat in my living room, and it was really, really cool. But I like that. You know, I like doing it, but it's hard to. You have to know somebody. And when I saw that Rob was on your podcast, I listened. I was like, well, these guys are cool. Then we asked him, like, oh yeah, sure. That's why
well, we figured that was our in. That's why we asked you when we did. Yeah, that was our exact strategy.
Well, you know, it's hard to get a lot out of Rob sometimes, and the best way to find out kind of where he's at and stuff, and sometimes listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you learn more as his coach by listening to him on someone else's podcast than what he'll give you.
Yeah, no, I mean, seriously, I mean, you do, you can learn a lot, you know, and so it's. So when you guys asked, I had like listened to you like maybe listened to him like 2 days earlier on the show. I was like, oh yeah, sure, okay, good deal. I'll do it.
Well, that's cool. We really enjoyed having you on here. This is great.
Yeah, it was really fun for us. Someone we've definitely looked up to for a long time. So this does mean a lot to us.
Well, it means a lot that you guys reached out, and you know, all kidding aside, that sort of stuff does mean a lot to me. And it's a chapter of my life that, although it's over, it's still very relevant. Like I said, you know, I do coach a couple guys. I don't put that out there because I want, you know, I look for clients quite the opposite. I don't look for clients, but you know, I still love the sport, and I still love staying, you know, in shape and being involved with strength and everything strength. So, you know, getting the opportunity to talk to guys and be reminded of the importance that sometimes, you know, maybe athletic performance can play in people's lives. It helps you get through a lot of hardships, you know, and you know, really gives you that it changes lives. I know, you know, me personally, without being an athlete, some of the stuff that I've had to overcome would be a lot more difficult. But it's a microcosm of life, and you know, I appreciate you guys saying that. It does really mean a lot. And sorry, I'm like driving to work. I feel terrible, but I didn't expect it to go over an hour.
Well, that's you had a lot of good stuff to say. But no, we will wrap it up, and we look. Do you know, has Rob gotten his call up for World's Strongest Man this year then yet, or is he still waiting?
Yeah, listen. It's not gonna. If it happens, it'll be, you know, like probably a week or so out. Right. It's gonna be like if a guy's injured at this point, he's gonna try and compete. You know.
Right. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense.
You know, yeah, I mean, the guys aren't going to drop out until literally they're a week out.
Like, yeah, we just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's training for it, you know. So it's going to be a good year. You know, I'm more than likely to be out there.
Cool.
Like I said, there are a couple guys that I'm going to be going to help out, and it's to do it on that level is I used to see guys coaching athletes, and I'd be like, it's terrible. Who the fuck would want to do that? To go out here, you know, like a ton of work and like no accolades, you know. But now on the other side of the coin, there's nothing I enjoy more than to coach guys and to see them perform and to be like their fucking chalk bitch, you know, like it's there's you know, and to be the guy that says, hey, listen, you know, one event at a time, like to be that guy, to be a corner guy, like it's just it's awesome, you know, and it also pays it forward, and hopefully those guys, you know, when they're retired, they do it too, because it's very fulfilling, you know.
Well, they probably love having Derek Poundstone as their chalk bitch.
There's no better chalk bitch.
Okay. All right. Awesome, Derek. We appreciate it. This was cool.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Derek.
Thanks.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah. Well, Tanner.
Tommy, what do you think?
I've had these suckers on ice over here.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
That was cool beans.
Yeah, that was cool beans. Those beans did sound extra cold this week,
extra
too.
crispy.
You did have them on ice, didn't you?
I did. Wow.
No, that was super cool beans.
Yeah.
You know what else is cool beans, Tommy?
Well, ads are pretty cool.
Ads are very cool beans. So I'm going to read some.
Do it.
Today's episode was brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believes was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and cheating Derek Poundstone deadlift records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit them at texaspowerbars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. makes premium made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined NE-coated plates. And these plates are pretty, let me tell you, Tommy. They are good-looking plates.
Beautiful.
Not only pretty, they're functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime. The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all of us at Massenomics Gym. Check out their plates and all their other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code, which is MASS20, MASS20. Today's episode is also brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUD Inc.'s trap is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything else is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. And last, definitely not least, Fusion Sports Performance Supplements. Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will.
Wait, was I supposed to answer that, or was that rhetorical?
I was asking the listeners today, but you don't really, you have to guess who I'm asking because it could be someone different every time. That's what I was never sure there. Yeah. That's why there's a pause, just to leave everyone guessing like, oh, is he talking to me today? I want the listeners to decide if I'm asking them. I want them to play along with that and answer to the...
Wait, is he asking Tommy or me? I'm driving my car. Am I supposed to answer?
Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. Every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's cool. Go to fusionsp.net. Use code MASS. MASS will save you a huge 20% on your order.
That's really cool. Maybe even Cool Beans cool.
That's Cool Beans. Cool Beans. Those are our sponsors. Did we have anything else that we need to talk about today, Tommy?
Be on the lookout for that new drop.
That new drippity drop. We got that coming. And then I think we talked about everything else at the beginning of this episode, didn't we?
Well, we definitely did.
I think we covered that and all the stuff that we recorded at the prior to the interview.
People can remember back that far. This is a long one.
That was. I almost can't remember what we talked about prior to the interview. It's been so long. It's weird. I can't remember any
blanking.
of it. Yeah, I am blanking on it. Weird. Huh. So I guess that's it. Tommy, where do they find you?
You can follow me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but I don't care if you do that. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.